Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Christina. How are you? Another daily trans content video, as you saw by the title. If you do not know me, I am Christina. I am a girl of trans experience. I have been transitioning for over a year and a half now. I'm going to be talking about 5 tips that every trans girl needs when they start their transition. I see a lot of YouTube videos online about tips for trans girls, but it's very much get your laser, get your hormones. I'm gonna show y'all my first 5 tips because I didn't start off the hormones until a lot later into my transition. I actually was kind of fast getting onto them. It only took me about 3.5 months before I transitioned and got on my moans, my hormones, my estrogen, and my Lupron shots, which one day talk about, which I talked about in a previous video, my other trans girl video, but I'm gonna just do an all clean slate. So if y'all ready to get your 5 trans tips, I'm gonna let y'all know, because I'm the realest girl. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm always real about transition and hardships. And girl, back in my old days, my channel would be me just crying all the time or just being really sad. And now I'm girl, it's so embarrassing. I'm a different girl now. I'm oh, she's petite. My name's Ashley. Girl, if you saw my last video, I hope y'all really came back for me. I was I don't know if I'm gonna do it again. I was just thinking about it. I was I'm not gonna do it. And then bitch, it happened, and I was oh, okay, these girls want to see me back. So I was you know what, we're gonna come back. I'm gonna be a trans YouTuber. So everyone, let's do it. I'm gonna give you the 5 tips for all my trans girls, trans guys, and my trans non-binaries out there. The first tip I always recommend people, if you're gonna transition and you want to start affiliating your body, clothing wise and all that, is go thrifting. Going thrifting, go buy yourself a new wardrobe, because you're gonna go to your wardrobe shopping and realize, oh my god, everything's very masculine. Masculine clothes are very different than feminine clothes, because they're gonna have more circle tunic tops. They're not gonna have a nice little moment where you can zip up and that, because guy clothes are meant to look really butch and masculine and just kind of give you that box figure I was. You kind of want to shape your body out with a nice little curve flow, especially if you're trying to be more feminine presenting. There's other things you can do for non-feminine presenting, but you really want to find clothes that are really flowy, especially in the beginning stages of not learning how to tuck or something like that. You want to get little dresses to flow you out. I always used to tuck before me transition, so I was okay girl, let's get this up. So I was able to wear high-waisted jeans and wear something cute. Always wear something really tight if you want to, because I think when you wear a ripped jean, a nice dark or light blue, you always look a little bit more feminine, a skinny jean moment. And what I really recommend in the beginning transition is not going too hyper feminine, putting on that tank top or whatever, because you have to let people adjust around you. Because if you just show up one day, waves hair, and be oh, I'm a girl, people are gonna be whoa, they're gonna dead name you. You're gonna have a lot more transphobia on you. And what I recommend, if you want more curves or something like that, padding, and also padding your bra. Now that's my next tip for the, in the same clothing era. Do not get the biggest size bra. I know everyone in their transition, I think a lot of girls will be oh girl, I'm a girl now, so you have big old titties. And they'll get a double XL bra, and it is so big, a double D, and you're girl, you walk to school or church one day, and you just have these giant coconuts on you, and you're what the hell? That was very much me. I really recommend using a tiny bra like this, something that's just gonna cup the titties and not be oh my gosh, you're so big. Because imagine having those big old titties and you just walk in one day and everyone's whoa, what girl could put the melons on you. That's what you really want to do, because if you're transitioning, whatever, you're trying to be more feminine. I'm on the more feminine side of, I'm talking about more feminine, of course, you can be more masculine or whatever. You don't want to, you don't want to scare people oh girl, what's going on with you, because it's a transition for everyone. You can't just one day walk into the family junction with these giant melons on you. But of course, if you want to, you can do that. But if you want to transition smoothly without getting less hate and a little bit less dead namey, you want to just transition smoothly. So I use a really tiny bra, because I've been on estrogen for about a year, about a year and a half now, and I just use something very tiny, because I don't really have the biggest boobs. Get there. My step 2 is finding a great therapist or someone to talk to. This tip I really recommend, because when you transition, you're going through a lot mentally. To do this, I'm going to transition, but you're not going to know how to do it. You look online and YouTube, and there's so many different videos on what you need to do, and they're all kind of go down this similar pathway, but there's so many different ways I go. Do I take my estrogen? Do I go find this doctor? Do I need my surgeries right away? I go on TikTok and I see all these other videos of these trans non-binary people. No, you just have to, go to a therapist or a trusted person. You don't need a therapist. You know, I had a therapist for my transition and I needed to start my estrogen. I needed a therapist. And I used that therapist to get my letters and all that. But just find someone. And it's finding people to relate with. Now, I didn't have that in my personal experience. I was really lonely in my transition. I had gay people around me, I had lesbians, non-binaries, but I didn't really have another trans girl to look up to. I always just looked up to starlets and wanted to be them. But when I transitioned and finally became this all, like, I didn't have my girls. I had no one around me to like rally with and cheer me up in my transition besides my family, of course, but like I wanted other trans girls. And not until about this summertime I got my job, which had a lot of trans girls, and that really founded a community in my trans girlhood, and it gave me what I was looking for, because I think in a time I was looking for that community of trans girls, just to have it and just to relate to them and see like what I'm missing out. And I do want everyone to know that you don't need to find trans girls to relate. Trans guys, trans non-binaries, you don't need trans people necessarily, but if you're looking for that, I really do recommend you reaching out, finding groups online, going for other trans like, you know, moments together, and just meeting trans people. I think it's very important to hear other experiences and stories. Whether or not you're gonna get along with them or not, I think it's really good just to hear the experience of an older, younger, someone who's just going through it or just transitioning. I was of all these trans women, and I was able to figure out that, you know, maybe I wasn't missing trans women in my life, but it was great to have the experience of hearing these trans women, because, you know, of course, you know, people are all different and you may not always get along with people and you may butt heads, especially when you're trans. You know, girls are a lot, like we are a lot. You're trans, of course the dolls are like really high maintenance, so like just know, like, if you're gonna hang out with like a doll, if you want to be like a prissy, like, you know, done up girl, expect, you know, to deal with a lot of big personalities. And I think if you can handle it, you're gonna be like, oh girl. Until you can handle it, you're gonna be like, your step is to get in touch with some type of trans community, because you're gonna really figure out what type of woman you want to be. Because in the beginning you may be like, I want to be this doll, and then you'll be like, you know, I just want to be a normal girl, just like blend in. Or you want to be like this like pinup wife or whatever, or like a prostitute, or whatever you want to do. Just know there's an alley for you everywhere. You know, there's not just one or the other. Tip number 4 I always give people is find a good tuck. Now I'm gonna show a whole video on tucking, but my tip is do not grab tuck tape. Do not start grabbing tape because you hear, oh my god, I'm gonna tape my privates back to my butt because that's what I need to do. No. Tuck it up. It's gonna be your best friend. It's gonna help you through your transition. I actually have a pair right here that I really recommend everyone checking out. These are clean pairs. Don't wear them. I'm like nasty ass panties. Drag queens, anyone can use these. Trans women, trans men, whatever you want to do. These panties. And what you do is you put your things in here, and then you chuck it up, girl, and it's all up in there. And they don't really hurt, and they're really good. They're not gonna leave scar, and they're not really gonna hurt you. They're not gonna leave bruises. They're really good. Now, of course, if you wear it for a long time, expect it to be hamburger meat down there. I'm not saying you're not gonna be feeling pain, but you know, because you are putting your, you know, you are putting your goods in behind your butt. But just know that, you know, you're gonna have this. You're gonna have like a nice tuck. You know, we're gonna have a really nice kitty cat. And it's gonna be really helpful. I think a lot of girls are like, oh my god, I need to get that duct tape and put it on there. Girl, I'm putting no duct tape on there. That's gonna hurt, especially if you don't shave or do nothing on there, girl. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be like gagged. You're gonna be like, oh, bitch, the fuck, like. No, like, but before the day before I got my suck it up, we're trying to make sure that vagina is correct. I love wearing a tight pant. I love, you know, I love looking like, oh girl, like she's tight. I want to show the body, the butt, all of that. So you gotta make sure the tuck it ups are right. And so tuck it up is gonna be your best friend. And my final tip for you, less is more. You're gonna figure out that the clocking the nines, all of that is less is more. Now, of course, I'm telling you this all dolled up, makeup, all that. But really, when you start transitioning, you're gonna figure out that you don't need as much makeup. You don't need this, you don't need that. What I really recommend, if you're going to try to do something, let's say you have short hair, is get a wig. I really recommend everyone getting a wig if you have that short hair. And even if you have long hair, but you want it longer, extensions are the way. Now, I used to be a hairstylist for the 6 months I was gone on YouTube. And girl, you want to make sure you got a nice wig that matches your color. This is a lace front right here, and it's really good. I love this wig. I never personally used it in my transition because I had always had long hair. I have really long, thick curls. And so basically, I think everyone's gonna think I need to press my hair straight all the way down, curl it to the nines, like so dolled up fantasy, which is not always the reality. You take off the makeup and you have to figure out where is that woman line beneath, you know, because we put on the makeup, we feel the fantasy, we take it off and we get dysphoria. You need to be able to look at your mirror and be like, gorgeous, I'm a beautiful woman here and there. And that's the essence of being a woman. It's that confidence. It's that I need to do this and that. It's that more of like just trying to live a normal womanhood life. And so I really do recommend everyone just to take it in and release it out, and not have to be like, I need to be at the 10 all the time. You don't need to be a 10 all the time. You can be a 1. I just do it because I love it. I just always been infatuated with makeup. As you can see, my whole channel has been with makeup. But like, femininity comes within, and doing less is completely more. And these are 5 steps that are gonna really change your transition if you're not on the medicine. And I'm so thankful for all of you who watch my trans content and see a different story inside and just a whole different experience. I like wish I had more of this, because I feel like it's the old videos, like 20 years, like 3 or 4 years ago, you search up trans tips and it's like, where's the new girl at? So I'm just excited to be a light for people, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about me as a woman. I hope you learned about yourselves, and I hope you can take this if you really do take any of my tips. I really do recommend y'all to really focus on yourself and don't do it for anyone else. I think if you are focusing on everyone else, you're never gonna find the real picture. And remember that you can go slow. You don't have to go super fast. I love y'all. I'm so excited to be back. There's gonna be a new video every single Monday. Thank y'all so much for that Omegle part 2 video. It's crazy. Like, y'all just love me. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I'm really excited to be back here and be like a trans girl. Of course, I don't know everything. I'm not gonna hold a whole book. Of course, I need to learn more. I'm not perfect at anything, but I'm gonna share my experience. I'm gonna show you tips that I learned to help some of y'all who may not see it, because I didn't see that for me. So I wanna thank y'all so much out there for loving me, supporting, subscribing, and liking, sticking with me over all these months of being gone. And I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.